channel, please like and subscribe. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make the reversed American flag patch. So let's jump into it. Okay, so my machine is starting on the first part, which is white, and it's just doing the outline. And for making patches, I use cutaway stabilizer and white felt. And here's my embroidery machine. There's the white thread that I'm using. It's 100% polyester, bro thread. I'll link all the materials down below. And this is the project. It shows me how long each color will take. Oops. I touched the screen. Apparently if I touch the screen, the needle stops working. So good to know. Anyway, so the white was going to take 15 minutes, and it tells me where the needle is as it's moving. And it tells me, like it gives me a little picture. Alright, so I'm just going to skip ahead because this takes a while. Okay, now I'm going to do the red next, and it tells me the color number. And I'm going to show you how I thread the machine. So you take this end, let me detangle it, hold on. It got kind of tangled when I put it on. Sorry about the camera angle, I'm trying to work the camera with one hand and fix the thread with the other hand. Okay, so let me grab the top here. Okay, so that's secure. That's an important piece, by the way. Make sure you have that on there. Okay, so I'm gonna go down, up to 2, down to 3, back up again to 4, and then down again to 6. Okay, so I had to maneuver a little bit for 6. Okay, and then we're doing 7, and then 8 is to cut it. Hold on. There we go. So we're cutting on 8, and then the lever is 9, and that's going to thread it for us. So I'm just going to push it down like this. There we go. See how it threads it for me? I love that. I wish my regular sewing machine had that ability. I'm just going to grab my little scissors, and there you have it. It is threaded and ready to go. Make sure that the foot is down when we're done. The foot's kind of hard to see. Sorry, it's back here. There's the foot, and it'll turn green when the foot's down. And we'll be ready to do the red part. Okay, great. So this is where we're doing the red stripes. And sometimes I like to clip the ends because I don't want them getting stuck or getting knotted up in the pattern. So I like to clip them. Totally optional. You don't have to clip it. But I like a clean look, so. All right. Making sure everything's running smoothly. Yep. And the red is going to go for about 11 minutes. It shows you right there. 11 minutes for the red. And this pattern I got off of Etsy, and the Embroidery Machine uses PES files. So if you own this machine and you want to buy patterns, make sure that it comes in a PES format. We skipped ahead because 11 minutes is a long time. So I wanted to show you what it looks like after it's done. And we're going to load the next color because this is a single needle machine, and you have to load each color individually as they change. So I went ahead and loaded the blue color so I can start the blue background for the stars. I'm hoping someday I'll have one of those cool multi-needle machines, which is really a time saver because you can load up each individual color that you want to use on each individual needle, whether it's a 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't know how many, I mean, there's definitely like commercial brand multi-needle embroidery machines that probably have way more than 10 needles on them. But they take up like, you know, a huge room to do that. So anyway, if I ever owned a multi-needle, it would either be a 6 or a 10. Maybe someday I would love to own one of those cool multi-needles. I've seen some wonderful tutorials on them and some projects that people do. I think the most popular right now is like baseball hats and puff embroidery. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Google it. It's pretty cool. It's not really my, you know, I'm not really a sports fan. It's definitely more of a sporty kind of look, but I really like doing embroidery, like shirts and stuff, like that idea. So maybe someday I'll have one. So now that the blue is done, I'm actually going to take it off real quick, and I'm going to trim the thread here. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this off. There we go. Okay. Now that it's off, I'm going to grab my curved scissors, and I'm going to see those lines that don't really belong there. I'm just going to trim those real quick before I put the stars on. I'm just going to grab my scissors. And I'm in my bedroom because that's the only place I have room for my machine. So, okay, I'm going to quickly trim these off camera because it's a little hard with me holding the camera. Now that I have those trimmed, I'm going to put this back onto the machine. Make sure your pressure foot is up, otherwise it won't fit. And I'm going to put these back on here. See if I can do it one-handed. It's a little tricky to do with one hand. Come on. There we go. I got it. Now we're going to do the stars next. The white is loaded and ready to go. All right, so make sure the pressure foot is down and the light is green. This will take about 2 minutes to do the stars. And I'm gonna let it go for a little bit, have it do a couple of stars, and then I will trim the end. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna lift the needle real quick and then trim that little piece of white thread. Okay, now that I've trimmed that, I'm going to put my needle back down and press go. And it's going to finish the stars, and there are exactly 50 stars on this flag. When I first got this pattern, I was like, there's no way there's 50 on here. Nope, there are. I counted them. There are 50 little tiny stars. So I'm just going to let this go. Okay, now that those are done, those look really good. I'm just making sure it cut. Yeah, okay, it cut. Good. All right, perfect. Now we're gonna load the next color, and it's just like a very, very, very off-white color. And it's gonna be for the flag border. And I already have the color loaded and ready. And I'm just gonna show you the beginning here. So I'll just start it. It's gonna do the border first, and then it'll do the fill. So. When I first did this, I did not use felt. And I noticed that the very, very last, like the last red stripe, just was like completely detached from the rest of the flag, because I think I used like a cotton fabric. And I was like, why does this look weird? And then I realized, you know, the cotton fabric was just way too thin. So I did some research and found that felt was the way to go. So, and I have bunches of felt, so I was like, hey, awesome. All right, I just skipped ahead so you can see the final stitches of this flag. And then when it's done stitching, I don't cut it out quite yet. Let me show you. Okay, this is done. Perfect. Give you a glimpse of the back of this real quick. Okay, so this is what I used before I cut it out. So I use a fray check. It's great stuff. It basically hardens all the stitches so that when you cut the patches out, you don't cut the stitches. Okay, so I put some along the edge before I cut it out, and then once it's dry, I cut out the patch, and then after the patch is cut, I put more of the fray check around the edge just to give it a nice secure feel to it. And there is the finished patch. This particular patch is a sew-on patch, which means that it does not come with a heat and bond backing. So if you actually look on the back, you can see each stitch and all the stitches. This patch you can actually sew onto a garment with a sewing machine, or you can sew it on something that you don't wash very often by hand. If you want to turn something like this into a iron-on patch, what I like to use is this heat and bond. And this heat and bond, it's an ultra hold, okay? So for this particular patch, I'm going to be leaving it the way it is. So if you want to make it an iron-on, then you can use heat and bond, and I will link that down in the description box below, as well as the other materials that I use. This patch is in my Etsy shop. If you want to look down in the description box, there is a link to this patch in particular to my shop. In my next tutorial, I will show you how to do the Mandalorian patch, so watch out for that one, and check in the cards up here for any more tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!